Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another weather forecast here by Adrian's Weather Forecast. And we have another very exciting video. It's not going to be a U.S. forecast, not going to be another boring warm front video or anything like that. This is actually very interesting. We have a potential major winter storm and maybe even blizzard to come up out here into the western United States and to rip through the central plains and Midwest. And this is not a small snowstorm. This is actually going to be a very big system. And it could definitely bring up to 1 to 2 feet of snowfall, which is crazy. Since this snowstorm will actually be in the first week of April, it would actually bring snow just starting into April 1st, which is April Fool's. So I guess it is fooling us that winter's going to stay a little bit longer, but then it gets a lot warmer right after. But again, this is definitely something we really need to talk about because not a lot of people are focusing on this. And we're going to start seeing some snow happening into the Rockies and Sierra Mountains as we speak right now. And it's going to continue to stay in the really high elevations for the next 2 days to 3 days. And then we'll have a major cold front pushing with the jet stream, and that's going to push down that snow into the lower elevation. Then it's going to get a lot bigger and see a defined low pressure system. But be sure to subscribe, guys, if you are new to the channel. I'm going to be doing a lot of coverage on this potential major winter storm, and most likely to be our last named winter storm until we get until maybe October or September. But without further ado, let's get into the video. I believe this will be Winter Storm Quincy. That's how you pronounce it. This is our first name in the queues. And the last one was Pearl. So if the last one was not named, this is going to be Winter Storm Quincy. And it's most likely going to stay at Quincy, not getting on any further in the alphabetical order names, because we are definitely not going to be seeing a big system like this unless we have another major April blizzard that somehow escapes the mountains. So for now, this could be the last named storm, but again, there's still maybe a 30 to 40% chance we have another major system like this. Because again, April is actually the most, the heaviest, really the month where we have the most amount of snowfall in the Rockies, actually. So technically, we really think about, we can have a really good chance we're still seeing some snow storms. So again, here we have winter weather advisories in the purplish blue color out here. These counties do have winter storm advisories. That's what we'll be seeing. A little bit less snow. Shouldn't be too bad. The highest elevations may be seeing 8 to maybe 10 inches. Because again, these areas are used to seeing feet of snowfall at one point, at maybe just one day. So obviously, snow totals will be higher even if it's just had advisory. That's going to be for the Rockies, or really the crest of the Rockies throughout Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming. And then we have those winter weather advisories stretching throughout the northern Sierras in Oregon and Washington. We have scattered areas near Yellowstone National Park and far northern Washington where we do have those windstorm warnings. That's where we can see that 2 feet to maybe even close to 3 feet extent of seeing the snowfall. So now we're going to be looking at the European radar again. This is going to be the general radar because it's too far to look at the NAN 3KM model. Again, the next 36 hours by Wednesday, we're going to start seeing that snow out here again, the Rockies. You're going to definitely see this is all going to be from the cold front, and that's going to be actually mixing up with the moisture. So that could definitely bring another chance for severe weather coming in. So as you can tell, definitely the snow is just going to be staying in the higher elevations, not even getting to Boise. Really the biggest city that'll be getting snow is possibly Helena. It will be getting awfully close to Portland. Definitely just going to be seeing more of rain. Seeing that a very heavy snow at some points. Would not doubt. Again, we have blizzard warnings in effect throughout maybe Idaho or Wyoming at some point. And the next 48 hours here, it looks like it does really kind of fall apart, but we'll definitely see this, the most amount of snowfall will now move into Montana. That will be stretching into also western North Dakota. Still seeing the snow, but now a lot lighter out here into the areas in the Rockies and then the suburbs in between the two mountain ranges. And then it does become that system in Montana kind of just leaves a little bit. And then we have another one because we're going to have this colder for a very long time. So the moisture, so really a good chance of seeing really long-lasting systems. Again, this one's gonna be a bit bigger now, stretching from all the way from Wyoming all the way up into Oregon. Gonna bring some very heavy snowfall not far from Boise now. Bring some snow not far from Billings, Helena, Montana. You guys are seeing some snow, and then this is when things really start to change by Thursday. This is April 2nd. Look at this really big system now. Here we have the definitive low pressure system at 997 millibars. This is definitely going to bring incredibly heavy snow, the heaviest of it at this point by Thursday in the afternoon. Early afternoon will be near Rapid City and also Casper, Wyoming. So really, the region-wise will be western South Dakota and eastern Wyoming. The whole state of Wyoming will actually be seeing snow this system. So seeing that snow for southern Montana, even arriving all the way to Salt Lake City. And then we have that dangerous threat of freezing rain and also sleet developing out here in between the rain and snow. That's going to be threat areas for central South Dakota and eastern North Dakota. Look at this really heavy ice. And by even Thursday, late in the afternoon and evening, look at this system. It's tripled size within 24 hours, really. Going to bring incredibly heavy snow now for northern Colorado, bringing that snow throughout almost all of North Dakota. We'll be seeing snow at this point. Bismarck, you're definitely going to finally see some measurable snow. You guys will be seeing very heavy snow out there near Aberdeen. You guys will be seeing a really big threat for ice. Fargo, you guys start seeing incredibly heavy ice, and it's definitely going to cause icy conditions and power outages. This looks like something you will see really in November, but it's actually going to be happening in April. Very heavy snow, again, for Casper, Wyoming, getting to Valentine, Nebraska, again, Rapid City, incredibly heavy snow, and it's not going to be dying down at any moment. It kind of reminds me of severe weather, because you don't really see something kind of like a little band like this. You see, really, that's what you see with rain bands. You see it look like that, bending like that, but this is actually happening with the ice and snow. So this kind of reminds me of some like severe weather band, especially the one that we saw yesterday and 2 days ago out here in the exact same areas. So it's weird. We're seeing southern type weather patterns in the Midwest now. We've seen it once, now we're going to be seeing it again within a week from each other. We're going to be seeing incredibly bad severe weather, up to an enhanced and moderate risk, and now we're seeing up to a foot of snowfall again. But really, we're definitely going to be seeing a major ice threat, though. This is actually not going to be a joke. We're definitely going to be seeing a lot more ice in some areas and even snow. That's going to be out throughout much of western Minnesota, near Sioux Falls, including, that's going to be for Omaha, Lincoln, Nebraska, Sioux City, Iowa. Seeing this incredibly heavy snow now for Fargo, Aberdeen, Michelle. Still seeing that snow possibly stretching for North Platte, maybe even Denver by Friday morning. And it continued to bring some snow all the way for possibly Minneapolis and Duluth, Minnesota. And then it finally dies down by Saturday. So not an incredibly long system, only lasting 3 days, 4 days maximum. Or when it's going to be big. It actually might last 5 to 6 days. Because again, we're going to be seeing the snow for a couple days in the Rockies. That's going to be really the same type of system. Not completely, but almost or possibly the same exact system. It just won't be as bad for that whole time period. It would definitely be really bad and named for at least 3 days. So here we'll be looking at the next 60 hours by early Thursday into the early afternoon. Seeing the snow again out here into the Rockies and Sierras. Not too bad. Won't be incredibly heavy snowfall, but it completely changes within 6 hours. We see this location change by 200 to 300 miles. We're going to start seeing that snow now for Rapid City, Perio, South Dakota. Incredibly heavy snow now for Casper, Wyoming. Looks like Casper and much of central Wyoming might see heavier snow there near Cheyenne, which does not happen a lot of the times. By even late Thursday. So it's going to completely change within 1 day. In the morning, it's going to be very scattered and not organized whatsoever. And then by the end of the day, we're seeing blizzard conditions and stretching 500 plus miles. So definitely a big change. And that's what you see with late winter storms. Or actually spring winter storms. Again, really heavy snow stretching all the way from Minnesota up into Colorado. This is going to bring incredibly heavy snowfall again throughout, especially the northwestern Colorado area. I think the worst of it will be, the worst of it for Wyoming will actually be in the eastern part of the state instead of southeastern or even northwestern. Snowfall totals, that's a bit different, but we're talking about conditions. Very heavy snow now for Valentine and much far northwestern Nebraska. Very heavy snow for Rapid City, averaging much of I-20. You guys would definitely get crushed by this incredibly heavy snow. Fargo, you guys will start seeing that snow developing throughout Thursday, much of Friday, and then it becomes a lot more widespread now, all the way from Canada, now all the way to Denver. Denver, you guys will start seeing some snow by the end of the system. Even Colorado Springs, seeing that snow stretching for North Platte now, Aberdeen, Michelle, Perio, Sioux Falls, again, Sioux Falls, Sioux City, and much of central and southwestern Minnesota. You guys will be seeing mainly a ice threat in the beginning, especially for Iowa, and then again, then we'll see that snow developing later on. And then again, this ice threat will now continue on into now Rochester, maybe even all the way to Des Moines, Eau Claire, Duluth. You guys will be seeing a ton of ice and sleet. And the worst of it actually will be freezing rain. And then we have the blizzard conditions right after that. That's going to bring in very heavy snow for Minneapolis, Rochester, Detroit Lakes, and then Duluth. And then possibly bring some snow for Marquette, but it won't be too bad. Snowfall totals are actually lower for the European model than the GFS, which does not happen a lot. But again, we're going to be starting off with what we're seeing in the Rockies in Idaho, north central Idaho. We'll be seeing a lot of snow from this snow system. We will be seeing up to 12 inches to possibly 19 inches, especially for the central part of the state. As we now get up near Atlanta, we'll be seeing up to 5 to 9 inches, and then far northwest from Montana, the really crest of the Rockies, stretching up all the way into British Columbia. That's where we're possibly seeing up there up to 17 to possibly ranging 8 to 17 inches of snowfall. For Billings, you guys will be seeing really less than 3 inches. For Bozeman, you guys will be getting around a foot. For Yellowstone National Park, 11 to 21 inches of snowfall. Casper, Wyoming, 5 to 9 inches. Cheyenne, less than 3 inches, which is quite crazy. Throughout the most amount of snowfall for Colorado will be, of course, in the higher elevations, in the western part of the state, seeing up to 4 to 6 inches. So totals are a lot different compared to the GFS for Colorado, Nebraska, Minnesota, but it's not incredibly different for North Dakota or Wyoming. Even South Dakota is really different between the models, of course. For Rapid City, 8 to 10 inches of snowfall. Perio, 2 to 3 inches of snowfall. Bismarck, 4 to 6 inches, and Fargo, really 2 inches. And then Minneapolis and Eau Claire, Duluth, you guys will be seeing less, really just 2 inches maximum. But it's a lot different now in the GFS. Again, it's actually showing up to close to 3 feet of snow for Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming, and then all the way to the far, far, far eastern parts of Idaho. We'll be stretching the least amount of snowfall for the whole Yellowstone Park will be up to 12 inches, of course, to the foot. And we can be stretching up to 28 inches to 33 inches. I would not doubt if we actually stretch up to 36 inches. Of course, not many people even live in the park. I don't think you even really can live in the park. Again, as you can tell, definitely stretching 32 inches. Again, Casper, Wyoming, up to 7 to 10 inches. Cheyenne, 2 to 3 inches, maybe even 4 inches. And again, central Idaho, north central Idaho, we'll be seeing a lot more snowfall than European. We'll be seeing scattered areas stretching all the way to 24 inches to possibly 28 inches, which is more than 2 feet actually. And the other areas surrounding that will be ranging from 9 to 14 inches of snowfall there. Now, time to actually just go back to this. We'll be seeing now a bit different. We'll be seeing possibly 3 to 5 inches for Colorado now, for Denver. And for the western part of the state, we'll be stretching from 6 inches to maximum the higher elevations, scattered 12 to 14 inches. As we now get into South Dakota, again, are a lot different for South Dakota. Up to 7 to 1+ feet of snowfall for Perio. Rapid City is actually a lot lower, only getting maybe 4 to maybe maximum 7 inches here. Up to for far northern part of Nebraska, really up there on the border with Wyoming and South Dakota, 7 to 12 inches, but for much of the other parts of the state, stretching 1 to 4 inches, 2 to 4 inches there. We'll be seeing up to 2 inches all the way near Des Moines, which is actually really going to be a late start of snow. Minneapolis now 2 to 4 inches, all the way up into north central Minnesota up to a foot of snowfall, which is completely different compared to the European showing almost nothing. That's a 12-inch range, even more. Aberdeen, you guys be seeing 9 to 14 inches of snowfall. Sioux Falls, 5 inches. And then again, definitely have to worry about the ice eruption, but we'll have to get a lot closer to see those to get precise, because ice and snowfall totals get a lot different. But I hope you got into the video, and bye guys.